Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. We are discussing the request reply protocol in distributed systems. So, okay. So we're discussing the request reply protocol in distributed system. So we have seen the failure model in request reply. So there are two failures. So one is discarding the duplicate request message, and second one is last reply message. And how do you handle? We handle this using history. By creating history, we handle the last reply message from the server to the client. Okay, so we are at that stage. Okay, now today we will discuss RPC exchange protocols. So there are three types of protocols. So one is RR, and RRA. So there are three types of RPC exchange protocols. So that we will discuss today. And what is the R means? So in case of R, simply request, there is no acknowledgement here. So the client send a request to the reply. There is no implicit assumption. There is no there is no acknowledgement sent from the server back to the client for its request. So whenever do request goes from client to server and get response. So get reply is actually invoked by the server, and send response will send back to the client. So normally what happens is, here in this case in our protocol, there is no value to be returned from the remote method, and the client requires no confirmation that the method has been executed. There is no confirmation required from the server side to the client. The client, so what does that mean? The client may immediately proceed after the request message is sent, as there is no need to wait for the reply message. Clear? And this protocol is implemented over UDP messages and therefore suffers from the same failures as the UDP. Okay, so that is omission failure and process crash. Okay, the same failures suffered here also in case of our protocol. That is the request protocol. Okay. So there, see, if you see the table here, it is clear that there is only one, in case of R, there is only one message, that is request message going from client to server. There are no other message. There is no reply message from server, and there is no acknowledgement message again from the client. Okay. So this is about the R. Okay, R protocol. Next is double R. So what is its significance? The double R protocol is useful for most client server exchanges because it is based on request reply protocol. Request and reply. See the diagram here. There is a request from client to server, and there is a reply from server to client. Okay, so here a subsequent call from a client may be regarded as a acknowledgements of the server. So, and that means request 1 is going from client to server. Okay, again, if request 2 goes from client to server, that means reply acknowledgement for request 1 is already received by the client. You are getting what I am saying? So I am saying is, there is a request 1 going from client to server. This is client and this is server. Okay, and there is a request 2 goes from client to server. So what does that mean? That means acknowledgement 1 is received, acknowledgement 1 is received, already received from server. So that is the meaning of this request reply architecture. Clear? So here, so if so, what are the failures that we occurred? That is UDP or UDP in R. So those are masked by the retransmission of the request with duplicate filtering. Okay, so that means and saving of the request. Sorry, saving of the replies in a history. Okay, so that is happening in request reply. Okay, here history will be maintained for all the replies we send from the server to the client, and okay, and also communication and also retransmission of the request with duplicate filtering. Okay, is happening from client to server. Okay, so that is about the request reply. Got the clarity? So request goes from server to client, and reply goes from server to client, and all the failures which are occurs in R. Okay, like communication, omission failure and process crash. So those are circumvented here. Suppose if any crash, I mean if any failure is there, then what will happen? Retransmission. So retransmit the request message again. Okay, so that is about the RR protocol. Next third category, that is about the RR. Next third category is RRA. That is request, reply, and third one is acknowledgement. So three things are happening here: request, reply, and acknowledgement. And acknowledgement reply. That means client will send a request to server, and server will send a reply to the client, and again client will send a acknowledgement reply to the server. So three things are happening here, and the important point here is this acknowledgement reply. So whatever we are telling here, this acknowledgement reply, so this contains request ID. What it contains? Request ID. We already know yesterday we are 2432 minus 1 for a integer, it is request ID. So acknowledgement reply contains a request ID from the reply message being acknowledged. Okay, so here this is the reply message. So this contains request ID. The same request ID is passed for acknowledgement reply. Okay, I hope everyone got the clarity. So this request, this acknowledgement reply contains the request ID from the reply message being acknowledged. So this is the reply message. Okay, so this contains request ID. Okay, so what మీకు తెలుసు అనుకున్నా. సో రిక్వెస్ట్ లో ఏముంటుంది? మూడు ఉంటాయి. ఏమింటవి? డూ రిక్వెస్ట్ మెథడ్ ఉంటుంది. సో డూ రిక్వెస్ట్ మెథడ్ ఏముంటుంది? Do request method yesterday we have discussed. Okay, what does that contain? What are those three values it contains? Can anybody say? It contains object reference, method ID, and data. Okay, and where this request ID comes from? This comes from the message identifier. Okay, so message identifier contains 5 fields: message type, request ID, object reference, method ID, and arguments. Okay, so one of the field is, that is second field is request ID. So that request ID is put in the acknowledgement reply when in an acknowledgement to the reply received from the server. Okay, clear? Clear? So this is about the request reply and acknowledgement reply architecture. Any doubt in this? So next question is, suppose if you lost any acknowledgement, so what will happen? Suppose request ID 1, request ID 5 I sent from client to server. What does that mean? Request ID 1, 2, 3, and 4 already received. 1, 2, 3, 4 is already received. Suppose if I say request ID 5, that means what? 1, 2, 3, 4 is already received. So you can remove these from the history table. Okay, that means even if you lost one of these acknowledgements, okay, then nothing will happen. So that is harmless. Okay, so the request ID 5 will handle all those things. Okay, request ID handle will handle the any loss in the okay, any loss in the reply from the server. Okay, that is about the one important point. And whenever you get a acknowledgement reply from the client, then in the history, the corresponding entry will be deleted. The corresponding entry will be deleted. అర్థవుతుందండి. సో ఇంకా ఏంటంటే సర్వర్లో ఇంకా ఆ రిజల్ట్ మెయింటైన్ చేసిన అవసరం లేదు. ఎందుకని సర్వర్లో రిజల్ట్ మెయింటైన్ చేసిన అవసరం లేదు? బికాస్ వి ఆల్రెడీ రిసీవ్డ్ ది reply from the server for request ID 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 are no need to necessarily maintain in the history table. Okay, the result or reply doesn't need to maintain in the history table. Hence, and also if you suppose if 3 is missed, 1 to 4 is received, then 5 is received. Then what happens is even if you discard, I mean, even if you didn't receive some few acknowledgements from the server, nothing will happen. Clear? So that is about the request reply and acknowledgement reply architecture. Okay. Now, what your attendance? Your attendance is 36. Okay. Okay. So that is about the next. Next is uses of TCP. So before going into HTTP request, so let me finish some important points. So what is the use of TCP to implement the request reply protocol? So if you implement over UDP, you will get some failures, omission failure and process crash failure. So what we are doing is we simply what we are doing is just simply implement the request reply protocol over TCP. So what is the advantage of the TCP? Okay, so that we will study now. Why we are going for this TCP? So what is the design? So if you want to transmit multi-packet, more than one packet, so you can choose to implement request reply protocol over TCP streams. So which allows arguments and results to be of any size to be transmitted. Okay, multi-packets. Okay, it is message of size multi-packets can be easily transmitted over the channel. Okay, so that is about the TCP. And also in particular Java object serialization, so which is a stream protocol, so that allows arguments and results to be sent over streams between clients and server, and making it possible for collections to be transmitted reliably. Java object serialization also we can do the same thing. Okay. And if TCP protocol is used, so it ensures that request and reply are delivered with reliability. అర్థమవుతుందండి. సో రిలయబిలిటీ అనేది టీసీపీలో ఉంటుంది కాబట్టి, సో వీ కెన్ ఇంప్లిమెంట్ this request reply architecture through some through TCP. So there is no need for request reply protocol to deal with retransmission and filtering of duplicate or with history. So the TCP protocol, whenever you try to use that one, there is no need of this history and filtering and retransmission. Okay, clear? If you use TCP. And not only that, flow control mechanism also, so large arguments and results to be passed without taking special measures. Okay, that is another advantage of using this TCP implementation of request reply protocol over TCP stream, because TCP not only provides reliability but also flow control. Okay, TCP also provides what? Flow control. So that is another advantage of TCP stream over. So there is no need to maintain histories or retransmissions or filtering the duplicates, etc. Okay, because it simplifies a lot. Okay, it simplifies a lot. Which one? TCP. So TCP implementation. So this reply architecture over TCP, implemented over TCP stream. Okay, so implemented over TCP stream, it simplifies a lot, simplifies the implementation. Okay, simplify the implementation. Simplify the implementation. So that is why we are going for this implementation over TCP. Okay, request reply architecture, because there is no history table need to maintain, there is no retransmission, there is no duplicates. Okay, only simply utilize TCP. That's it. Okay, simply use TCP. And if the message will contain large messages and large results, so those can be, that means flow control also can be done using this TCP. Okay, large arguments and results can also be passed without special measures to avoid overwhelming the recipient. Okay, that's why it is better to implement the advantage of TCP or RPC are like this. Okay, first one is simplify the implementation, and second thing is there is no history or retransmissions or duplicate filtering, and third one is large arguments and results can be passed. Okay, and fourth one is multi-packet protocol. Okay, multi-packet protocols can be avoided. Okay, that's it. And so what is the disadvantage? Okay, okay, can anybody, what is the overhead due to TCP acknowledgement is also reduced? How means if the successive requests and replies between the same client pair are sent over the same stream, okay, then the connection overhead need not be applied to the remote invocation. So in that way, the overhead due to TCP acknowledgement also reduced. When a reply message follows soon after a request. So after a reply, immediately request follows. So in that way, what happens is the overhead due to TCP acknowledgement is also reduced. Clear? Okay. What about SunNFS? So SunNFS does not require messages of unlimited size. Why? Because it transmits fixed size of file blocks between clients and server. So hence it is implemented over the UDP. Okay, but not TCP. Okay. So next comes the next slide. So that is HTTP request message. So this is already seen in the first unit. So HTTP means hypertext transfer protocol. So which is used by web browser, which is a client, to make requests to web servers, which contains the network addresses, and to receive replies from them. Okay, to receive replies from the web server, the web browsers use this HTTP mechanism inside it, so that it can access the URL or particular server presented, the server IP presented this web server. And how web server manage resources? Can anybody can recap how web servers manage resources? Okay, it is as a data. Okay, that is using HTML page or an image or the applet. So that is three ways, and or as a program. So for example, CGI programs and servlets. So these can be run at the server side only. So there are two ways to handle the two ways to handle the web server, how it manages the resources. Okay, either by CGI programs or servlets, or but through the HTML pages or data of the HTML, like text or image are present in the HTML. Clear? And coming to the client, so client requests a client request specify a URL, so that includes DNS hostname of web server and an optional port number, so that we already know. So because on the web server, as well as identify the resource on the server. So how it identifies is, it identifies on the resource by using the URL, okay, which we already discussed in the unit 1. So that means That means URL contains the location of the resource on the web server, on the server. URL what it contains location of the resource on the server. So in that way, client specifies the URL, and so that the server can find it on the particular location on the web server, and its server. Okay, and HTTP protocol specifies the messages involved in the request reply message, um, methods, arguments, and results, and the rules for representing them in the messages. Okay, so that is the type of protocol HTTP. So it not only specifies the representation of the documents on the appearance of the documents on the web, but it also exchanges the methods involved in the request reply exchange, the arguments, methods, and results. Okay, and the rules for marshalling. Okay, that also included in the HTML. And you suppose a fixed set of methods. What are those methods? Get, put, post, etc. Get, put, post, method, etc. So that applicable to all the resources. Okay, so it is unlike the above protocols. So where each object has its own method. Okay, so this additionally has invoked the methods on the web resources, and also the protocols allow for content negotiation and password style authentication. That is about this HTTP. Okay, so HTTP is a protocol so which contains get, push, get, put, post methods. Okay, so if you see in the slide. Uh, So head contains the time of last modification. It contains the time of last modification. You see in the diagram. See head is a method which contains the time of run. Post specifies the URL that can be dealt with data separate with the request. So if you want to supply anything, any arguments to the HTML page, you can do that using post. Put data supply is stored within the given URL as so put is used to exactly opposite of the get. So put is used, it is a request that the data is supplied in the request is stored with the given URL. So that is what here. And delete. So delete means server may not always use this operation. So only these three are sufficient, and get method. Okay, so this is about HTML request message. The head request content is get. Okay, so get is nothing but the request message. And what about HTTP reply message?